you.
Okay, I will tag the title. It's called Researchers Test for Cancers in a Person's Brain.
Yes. All right.
Hmm.
Let's start with vocabulary. Will you follow me?
Yeah, I would like to
Okay. First word, identify.
identify.
To know who or what someone or something is.
To know who or what someone or something is.
He identified himself as a security officer.
He identified himself as a security officer.
Specific.
Specific.
Relating to one particular thing only.
Relating to one particular thing only.
Can you find some specific examples in the text?
Can you find some specific examples in the text?
Produce.
Produce.
To make something grow or happen as a part of a natural process.
To make something grow or happen as part of a natural process.
These trees should produce fruit in about 8 weeks.
These trees should produce fruits in about 8 weeks.
Discover.
Discover.
To find, notice, or learn something.
To find, notice, or learn something.
The scientist discovered a new drug.
The scientist discovers a new drug.
Detect.
Detect.
To find or notice something.
To find or notice something.
Not all sounds can be detected by the human ear.
Not all sounds can be detected by the human ear.
Thank you. Excellent. Is there any question here, Mr. Paul?
Yeah, I think I have no problem about this exercise.
All right. Let's move on to article. Researchers test for cancer in a person's breath. If police think that you have been driving drunk, they will usually ask you to breathe into a breathalyzer. This device will test how much alcohol is in your breath and will give police a good idea of the amount of alcohol in your blood.
Researchers test for cancer in a person's breath. If police think that you have been driving drunk, they will usually ask you to breathe into a breathalyzer. This device will test how much alcohol in your breath uh, and will give police a good idea of the amounts of alcohol in your blood.
Now, researchers are using the same technology to test for cancer. The new device, created by Owlstone Medical, can identify specific chemicals in a person's breath.
Now, researchers are using the same technology to test for cancer. The new device, created by Owlstone Medical, can identify specific chemicals in a person's breath.
British researchers have asked 1,500 people to take part in tests of the device. Each person will wear a special mask and breathe normally for 10 minutes. The mask will collect chemicals in the person's breath, which are then sent to Owlstone's laboratory.
British researchers have asked 1,500 people to take part in tests of the device. Each person will wear a special mask and breathe normally for 10 minutes. The mask will collect chemicals in the person's breath, which are then sent to Orstons laboratory. Laboratory.
Yes. Researchers say that diseases such as cancer cause the body to produce certain chemicals. By testing for these chemicals in a person's breath, doctors may be able to find out if a person has a disease earlier than they otherwise would have.
Researchers said that diseases such as cancer cause the body to produce certain chemicals. By testing for these chemicals in a person's breath, doctors may be able to find out if the persons have the disease earlier than they otherwise would have.
One of Owlstone's founders, Billy Boyle, says cancer is often discovered after it has spread through the body.
One of Owlstone's founders, Billy Boyle, says cancer is often discovered after it has spread through the body.
So the key thing that you can do is detect the disease early, and that's what we think the breathalyzer technology allows for, Boyle said.
So the key thing that you can do is
detect.
Detect the disease early, and that's what we think the breathalyzer technology allows for. Boyle said.
Currently, the Owlstone breathalyzer is only being tested on people who are thought to have two types of cancer. But over the next 2 years, researchers plan to test the breathalyzer on more types of cancer.
Currently, the Owlstone breathalyzer is only being tested on people who are thought to have two types of cancer. But over the next 2 years, researchers plan to test the breathalyzer on more types of cancer.
Thank you. Right. Is there any question here?
I think everything is okay.
All right. Moving on to questions. Who is developing the cancer breathalyzer?
These kinds of new devices are created by Owlstone Medical.
That's correct. What do diseases such as cancer cause the body to produce?
This device for how do I say this? Researchers said that these kinds of disease such as cancer cause the body to produce certain chemicals.
That's right. And who is the breathalyzer currently being tested on?
People who are thought to have two types of cancer.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Now we'll have plenty of time to talk about this. So, what are your thoughts on Owlstone breathalyzer?
I think before the examining for cancer, people always think about it. It's very expensive, but nowadays we can use this kinds of device. You can just brace and test you have cancer or not. I think it's very convenient and a cheaper way to examine your illness. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how medical technology is advancing so quickly, actually, recently.
Yeah. Yes.
Have you ever been asked to take a breath test?
Yes.
Can you share your experience?
Actually, in Taiwan, we always ride a bicycle to get your office or everywhere. So, some people they even if they are drunk and they still ride their bicycle. So, uh, no, police officer will text you, having you drunk any alcohol or not. So I text a breath text too when I riding my bicycle.
Mm-hmm. I see. So what happened? What was the outcome?
I'm a good person, so I didn't drunk any anytime. So I'm very sad to ride my bicycle, and the police officer just passed me out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. All right. Would you be willing to take part in a medical experiment?
Yeah. I think I would like to take part in a medical mm, yeah
Any?
experiments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of medical experiment, or some medical experiments you wouldn't like?
Maybe it depends on the sort of the medical experiments. Maybe if the experiment uh, it asks you to eat some drug into your body, I think I will I and I think I'm afraid I cannot to take this kinds of exam
Let's see.
because
Okay.
I think it will I don't know how to say it. Yes, damage your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not yet. So I suppose for drugs, maybe not.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think are the most important medical discoveries of all time?
How do I say it? I think it's the most important about the medical invitation, the
Invention.
yeah invention, the
In, yeah.
inventions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First of all, the researchers about this exam, they should to find a way to not to take any damage in human beings, and they
Mm-hmm.
research this medicine further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the most important thing.
Right. Sterilization and diagnostics, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
According to some articles that I looked up and Googled. One of the most important ones are stethoscope. Do you know what that is?
I don't know. It's my first time to see this kind of vocabulary.
Stethoscope is to check your lungs and internal organs
I
with
see.
sound.
Uh-huh.
Also, there have been antibiotics, one of the discoveries that saved millions of lives, right? Before antibiotics, people would die out of common cold. And today, we drink antibiotics for everything. So these are just some of the important discoveries.
Okay.
Right? Do you believe that a cure for cancer will be discovered within your lifetime?
I think everyone struggles with these kinds of illness, and they take lots of time to solve these kinds of program. So I think they still need more time to find the resume about this this illness. I think I cannot see the cure for cancer will be discovered within my lifetime.
That's very interesting, especially since 10 years ago, scientists discovered a cure for blood cancer.
Okay. Blood cancer.
Sometimes blood cancer, or that is called leukemia. Maybe it sounds more familiar.
Okay.
So 10 years ago, scientists discovered a cure for leukemia.
Yeah.
And it was incurable. So I think that by, I don't know, in the next 10, 20 years, we might probably find a cure for any type of cancer.
Oh, it's a big step for cancer. Yeah.
And it happened 10 years ago. So maybe we are on a good path to cure cancer.
Yeah.
Right.
I think not only one kinds of cancer will be discovered. So there's a lot of kinds of cancers I need to solved.
Yeah. The way they solved leukemia or cured leukemia is by using specialized drug treatment for each of the, I think, 3 people who were in that experiment. It was an experiment, actually. And they take the DNA from the person who has leukemia, and based on that, they infect the person with a part of HIV virus. Because parts of HIV virus are good for cure because they act as foreign bodies, and cancer isn't detected by our body because it is part of our body. Cancer is just dead cells in our body. So
I heard about
that's how we cured it. It's quite fascinating. Right. In further discussion, do you go for regular checkups?
Yeah. Because I work for companies and they just arranged health checkup regularly. Yeah. Maybe one time years.
Once a year.
Yeah,
once a year.
Yeah, once a year.
And how does it look? What do they check at that checkup?
First of all, they check your height and your weight, and to check your bones, if this is hard enough or not, and they will take some take a little of your blood to
Mhm.
to see your blood is normal or not, and any program in your body. Mm.
Yeah.
And they also use I don't know how to say it in English. So check your stomach.
Uh-huh.
They just use some kinds of tube and put it in your mouth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's very terrible, but I think this kinds of
Mm.
exam is necessary.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you're working in some medically sort of sterile places, and yeah, quite.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you always follow your doctor's advice?
Yeah, basically, I will follow my doctor's advice because it's relevant relevant to my health and my life. So
Yeah. So you follow every advice, or
yeah, yeah,
you skip?
yeah. I just keep out my doctor's advice.
All right. That's very smart. If you were to study medicine, what would you choose to focus on?
Mm, maybe the some illness humans didn't discover the about its
Hmm.
medicine or yeah,
So you
yeah.
would focus on pharmacology.
Yeah, yeah. I will focus on yeah the this kinds of technology.
All right. What do you imagine are the most common health issues in your country?
What do you wish to all the possible? Mm, sorry, I don't get this this question. So,
What is the biggest number of which diseases in your country? Which diseases are common in your country? Which
um,
health problems?
okay. I think that it will be stomach cancer because yeah, people die when people die because they have the stomach cancer. It's always the number one the reason why people die in Taiwan.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always number one, especially for men's, mm, because
Hmm.
they always uh, drunk, drunk every time, and it's it's a lot of thing, some fried food or
Hmm.
it's fast food. Uh, some you know, some food is not so healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I just checked it out. There is a paper here saying that the leading causes of death, as
Mm-hmm.
reported in Taiwan, are diarrhea and arthritis, or
Oh.
inflammation of the
Mm.
intestines.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite surprising to me. I thought it's usually a heart attack or something.
Yeah, yeah. No. Okay, I will check
Wow.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So this will conclude our lesson for today, and it was quite nice meeting you, Mr. Paul. Thank you,
Thank you
and
too.
enjoy your evening. See
Yeah.
you another time.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye and good night.